Oh my goodness. Hey. I was waiting on you nerds to finish. Oh. This is gonna be like the first time I was actually going to be on time starting this when I said I was. And then I was watching you two. Hi, everybody. We're trying an experiment today. Hold on one second. Knocking things over. There's too many figurines. Where's the peener? Are you talking about loud stuff? What? You just want me to draw a ween? I'm like the one artist that's not currently drawing. Yeah, no, I'm only loud if I'm standing directly in front of my mic, no matter where I move my thing. I've tried. I've moved it. Yeah. We're always talking about wonderful adult things here, like weens. Okay. 13 points. I don't got time for that. I have plans. You're gonna sabotage my plans. It's Pokemon Day, not Wiener Day. Every day's Wiener Day. Alright. Raya. Girl, you just got a cookie from me. Go lay down. Go, please. You'll get stuff later. Alright, they're just gonna fight in chat. That's on them. They can fight in chat. Let them fight. I need to get soundboard things in here. That'll probably be after Kickstarter. I'm stretched thin. Alright. I forgot to post that I was doing this on Blue Sky. Balls. Alright, anyways, so today's Pokemon Day, if you didn't hear. And Pokemon Company is one of the few places you can actually do fan art for, and they don't come after you unless you're, like, directly competing. Hi, dog. Sorry. I don't need a curse of inconvenience. I have a dog who keeps putting her paws under my wobble board. Which, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, it's just a thing that I can stand on and rock back and forth so I'm not standing still at my desk. Place. Okay. Hold on one second. I need to make an earthquake. Alright, so I'm actually gonna try. I have other colors pencils work on this Yubo paper. which was what I was working on yesterday, was like this one. My ankle is, I don't know, I think it's like, it's fine usually if I'm just walking around with it, but if I lay on it, like I sit cross-legged, it becomes a nightmare. And if I try to go on the elliptical, it becomes a nightmare. Alright, I'm just gonna pull out the whole drawer. But anyways, sorry, I had to get new pencils because I ran out. And just realized I didn't sharpen them. Okay, so anyways, I usually do black and white on this because it just looks good. But, since it's Pokemon Day, I decided I'm gonna try drawing Gengar. But yeah, long story short of the ankle, I don't know what's happening. I probably need to go back to a physical therapist and be like, what the heck? I'm pretty sure I just aggravated, when Xena tried to murder me years ago. I'm going to try. I was like, Gengar, I was looking through, I'm starting with blue just because I don't have a dull enough purple right now. And I'm going to be drawing over this anyways. Now I'm really going to get judged because I don't do fan art much. People are going to... Though, I'm not actually going to be aiming for 100% accuracy at all. When I say I'm doing Pokemon, I'm saying I'm doing my version of the Pokemon. But, so I'm actually working in big scale this time. I may have to zoom this out. Because I remembered I have a giant roll of Yupo paper in my closet. That, like, the scale goes 1 to 14, or 11 by 14 to giant roll. There's nothing bigger. So I know I snagged one before when I had a project in mind, and then I never ended up using it. So I've had it in my closet for a couple of years now. And I finally pulled it out because I wanted some room to play with on this. Partially so I can have, like, test materials on the side I'm going to cut off. Which you can see this is plastic, this isn't paper. And then just because I wasn't totally sure what scale this was going to be when I was visualizing it. Alright, so that is... Now I'm trying to move this. I have this taped down because it was all curled up, so I have a big board I have to work over. So there's not as much mobility as usual. should have maybe started with a book plate sketch, like I did yesterday. But nope. We're gonna go right into it. And so far this is turning out a little less horror, body horror than I was picturing the first time I was thinking about doing this. So I might like I have a little reference screen next to me where I just put a bunch of like official images on a PureRef page, which PureRef is like a pin board that you can put references. You could type on it now too, they've improved it, but I'm following too close to model right now. So I'm going to turn that off. So it's not currently it's going to, why can't I think of the word? So it's not going to influence me for a little bit. If I'm confusing anyone, please let me know. As long as it's not about weens. Okay, I did make a mistake. I did not draw. Double check his. That's just essentially placement of eyes. I didn't do the placement of eyes, which is actually pretty important. So we'll go back, double check that. Like, I'm not going to have, that doesn't mean I'm going to use these same exact eyes at all. It's just, eyes are one of the things people connect with the most on a character, any character. So you don't want to, if you're doing a variation of something, you don't want to have it be, like, the eyes move very far. Or very off model. If that sound reminds you of grade school, that's because that is the type of sharpener I have. Alright, so here's where I get to finally test out a material. I want to see if Prismacolors, the regular color pencils, not Kohl Erase, are going to rub as well as blend in as well as the pretty part. Kohl Erase pencils, the animator pencils. I have a feeling definitely not. Yeah, there's very little blending. There is some. A little bit. It gets a little bit softer, but not nearly as much. So these are a final detail thing. They're not a sketch phase thing. Like I said, today's a bit more about an experiment. And then final, I pulled up my fancy alcohol inks. Actually, no, these aren't. Oh, they're just actually calligraphy inks. But I have quite a few, so I'm going to try to do some of my finishing techniques with ink. But that will probably not be this stream, unless miracles happen. But I was thinking about maybe tomorrow's game day. Game day is in I'll play games on stream. But I might actually stream Saturday because since the Kickstarter is ending in only 6 days now. So yeah, I don't know if I'll do Sunday because I think I have D&D, but Saturday I'll try streaming. So I will probably, depending on my mood, either try to finish this guy, well, finish or continue working on, or do another game. I did see one of my old art friends just released a horror game, and it was really funny because I didn't know he released it. I like watching Gab Smolders play, and she played it, and then it got to the end, and it was like, "Thank you for playing my game" by Mike Monroe, and I'm like, I know a Mike Monroe. And I looked it up, and it was his game. So I'm like, oh shit, I haven't seen him in like, fuck, 3 years? But that's awesome. So now I kind of want to, go get that and play that on stream just for... Used to share, well, we didn't share tables, but like we would do a lot of the same conventions, the horror conventions. So... I have his art somewhere. It's behind my desk. I have a stand behind my desk of some of my smaller originals. Yeah, he does really cool line work. Yeah, just going to shout out that. I think what is the name of the game? It's Dead Letters. I need to look it up now. Since I'm talking about it, I should probably mention it. Dead Letter Department. So the demo's free right now. So yeah. So yeah, I think I'll actually be playing that tomorrow, even though I just watched somebody play through it. It's not entirely ruined by watching somebody play through it. It's still very much a skill game. But hopefully that does really well for him, because it's nice to see a fellow horror nerd make it. I'm hoping this blue might be a little intense right now for, Gengar's purple, but I think once I start adding in ink and the colored pencil, like, this will actually be a good base tone. So I'm not hating it anymore, which is why I'm starting to shade in with it. Because if I can get... Gouache obviously isn't going to work on this, but I could get acrylic and try to do a gouache effect. And I think this blue is really going to help the purples and pinks pop. And I'll probably... Hold on one more second. I keep remembering things I need to do. Keep forgetting to paste my Kickstarter. Which has, like I said, 6. Nope. Um, 6 days left. I know what's happening. Sorry, I'm being... I can't pin my own Kickstarter thing. I tried. It's also linked below. But yes, it's not very much fan art in it. It's almost entirely original. I think there might be 1 or 2 kind of fan art things in there. Yeah, there's like my version of a Deathclaw. But my creature art book Kickstarter ends in 6 days. You may be amused by the fact that, well, artists will be amused because, you know, there's always the whole, remember to flip your canvas! The stream is flipped. So I'm drawing the opposite direction of what you're seeing. And, I found the hacks. Alright, so the problem is I really want to do a mouth shape this way, but Gengar is very hyper-specific upward smile. Like, even pretty much all of his animated stuff, he's still got that grin. So I can't do that as much as I would like to. I might do some things to kind of still pull that shape language in there. Which actually, yep, I'm gonna do that with his tongue. I'll just make that shape language with the tongue. There we go. Problem solved. I am currently just smudging the heck out of his hand. But I'm fine with that because that was just a rough proportion sketch. Alright, I want to switch this to the side, but Otachi's in my way. My desk is covered in little kaiju. Which I think, I don't know if Twitch still has it up, but I did a studio tour a couple weeks ago. You want to see what lives on my desk? I think that was before I was set up to also do YouTube, so unfortunately I don't think it got saved as a VOD that way. Stylized. People don't really buy for the financial aspect of it. People don't typically buy stuff that's too off model. If they're like buying for fan art, but that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't really do fan art. Because I usually like going off model. I do gotta post. Like, I did a Garatina once that was wonderfully all creepy and lumpy. I should be using my bar, which I don't know where I put that. Sorry, Raya Cam is empty right now. She, even with the window on and the fan on high, it's hot in my office because we actually got sun today. It's gorgeous out. Why not smoky eyes? And this is just a big acrylic armrest, so I don't smudge like I've been doing over here. Oh, really? We actually have, like, I got the window open a bit. I need to remove my burglar bar so I can open it a bit more. And by burglar bar, I mean a 2x4. But, I think Ernesto's got the window, or the door completely open upstairs. It's like our outside fish that we use for, doing aquaponics. And just cause they're very relaxing to have as pets. But the fish in our pond are very active today. So it's been nice to go out there and just soak in the sun and stare at them for a little bit. Oh, I smudged. I forgot how much more. So some of the leads, that's the other reason I always draw in the black. They have different softness levels. So the black, I know what I'm getting because I've worked with it enough. The blue is softer, so it is easier to smudge. And since I don't work in it that often, I forget. I use the same pressure sensitivity as I do with black, and this happens. And yes, there are going to be lit wicks and possibly the lamplit. Is that the middle one? Honestly, I acknowledge Litwick and the Chandler, and then the in-between stage is like a blip on the radar. Lamplit? I think it's Lampent or something like that, but I think I may have Lampent up in here. Alright, this is a little weird. I was playing around with having him, like, licking his upper lip. But I don't... That's a little too weird. It's giving me the, like, visual, mental image of, like, the... naughty. So I think I'm gonna kind of move things a little bit. Which is why it's okay if I smudge things out. I'm being a little too heavy-handed with the line work, honestly. I should still be chicken scratching, but I'm not. Yeah, I don't know if I keep track of... I keep trying to play the new Pokemon games, and then I inevitably play too much and get bored, or I never finish them, is what I'm saying. Like, I'll get a goal in mind. Like, I think last time it was I really wanted a shiny... what was it, a Noibat? And I tried for so long, and then I just got frustrated. And I gave up playing. I did like, I think Arceus was the one that was done by a different studio. I liked that one because it added way more mechanics. Man, the more I look at this, the more I want to turn his mouth upside down. But I don't think he ever really has his mouth upside down. Sorry, I gotta pull up the window again. What? No! Yeah, I don't see any of these where he's not smiling. At least that very specific smile. Okay. We'll work with what we've got. This is part of working within the constraints. Probably get away with moving this up there. Like, as long as the end of the mouth is above it, I think it will read. No, problem is I got a tangent here. Don't want that. The sun has migrated to the point it is hitting my legs. I may be slowly cooking. Okay. This blue smudge is so much more. No idea. I might be overly confident in how much I'm trusting acrylic and in the inks I have to cover up my sins of the pencil. That's why I said today is experiments. So we'll find out if my confidence backfires. Now here's where my inexperience is showing again. Is Gengar? He's poison, or like toxic ghost, right? He's not just ghost. Because I'm giving him little boils like he's poison. This is how I know I've been abandoned, because two people who were in chat are big enough Pokemon nerds that they just karaoke the Pokemon theme song with me the other day. And they're not answering me. No, I do have to watch out. Not that Gengar would actually work awesome as a pumpkin. But that's not my goal with this, so I gotta start moving away from too even of line work, I think. Like, as in having these match up in rows, because that will inevitably kind of give the impression of pumpkin character when I'm not going for that. I want this to read less like lines on a pumpkin and more like his body itself is kind of an amalgamation of like toxic sludge. Which I could put very literally, which would be really actually fun. And I'm starting to lean towards doing that. Like there's just swirls of stuff in him. I just don't know if that would make it completely unreadable as Gengar. Feel free to throw out opinions, by the way. Or ask me questions. Or let me know, stop babbling. Like, I'm just kind of train of thoughting stuff, and I'm not sure if it's useful, helpful, or people just prefer silence. Thanks, Watch, for telling me to stand at my standing desk. Well, that is a good hint to stop gremling it over. Or there's a technical term for it. Gargoyle? When you like hunch over your sketch. Well, thank you. At least, alright. At least the chatting is... Yeah, because you're not a Pokemon person, so that's totally understandable. I mainly decided on Pokemon Wolf because I do like Pokemon. Like, Gengar is still one of my favorites. I'm just not hardcore. But my old creative director, when I was talking to him like a month ago, he was telling me to do more fan art pieces, which I was really surprised by. And he's like, Just show me, not like fan art, but like show me your interpretation of characters. Of course you were. You weren't here to answer me if Gengar is also, just verify, Gengar is poison and ghost, right? Or toxic and ghost. But anyways, so he told me to do fan art. And then, like, Pokemon is an obvious one. But they're also just a good choice for me for, you know, to potentially do, because they don't go after fan artists very often. You usually have to do something super, super bad for them to want to actually come after you. Like, you're either directly competing or it's something nasty that you're making. They're usually actually pretty embracing of fan art, so that's why I'm like, I feel safe that I can do this and not be, you know, messing with the, you know, the wishes of the company or the artist. Oh yeah, you always assume it's psychic, but it's never psychic. See, I think most of my Pokemon was Pokemon Go for a long time. So that's currently where most of my knowledge is hailing from. I only really stopped that one for the Monster Hunter. Look how much this smudges. I'm sorry, but like, there's something weirdly delicious, but also depressing about that. Like, there's all your lines, but now it's all butter. Man, this is making me think I need to draw on blue more often. Because, yeah, the black does not... This is my take on Gengar. I'm trying to do a full illustration and a bunch of experiments. Or, the way I was visualizing a bunch of experiments. We'll see. Like I said, the illustration is going to take me where it's going, or wants to, and right now, this was not what I anticipated doing, but I like it. I think Gengar is on pretty much everybody's, like, favorite list. He's just universally beloved. So now I'm just having fun blending, because this... I can't really do this with the black at all. Like, the black will blend. You know, the illustration from yesterday showed, but like, that was me intense blending it. That's me intense blending the blue. I think, well, Gengar's one of those ones where, he is very friend-shaped. Gengar's one of those ones where they have not stuck to the same design for much of the anime or whatever, or the cards. Like, they keep pivoting. Alright, sorry, I'm thinking I want to start pulling in some purples. but I need to see which one's going to match this level of smudge. Because if they don't, then I'm not using them. If only my dog was here to love me. Ah, crap. Sorry. I thought I was gonna have a moment where I was like, yes, I have all of them in this bin. But no, they're in my other bin upstairs, so that's not helpful. I might as well use this to start rolling everything out. Alright, so give me a second. I need to sharpen a bunch of pinks. Oh, I got 2 roses. Trying to get to the magic point of not a super sharp tip. Which I definitely failed at. Alright, so I'm going to try these out now. Put it over there for now. Add these to my smear list. There's just it's one of the reasons why I made this piece of paper so long. Was so I had a little space on the side of it. I cut this out of a giant roll of Yupo paper I've had in my closet. But now I have something like right here I can play with to see how things are going to smudge. Alright, so it looks like only 2 that are really working. A rose and violet. Which rose is not far from what I was kind of thinking about starting to use. So I'm just going to start trying to bring that in here a little bit, see how it goes. Like I said, experimenting today. Also, even if I want to blend this in as much, I'm not going to be able to because I went whole hog on blending out this blue. And if you've ever been on any of my previous streams, you know that this paper does not have, it's synthetic paper, so it does not have a tooth to it that sticks around like real paper. So you can only blend so much, you can only erase and add line weight and all that stuff. There's a much smaller window of that than on a real paper. Like you can do awesome butter effects like this. You can't erase and redraw it. Or you can't ever have intensely illustrated stuff. The only person I know that can get a lot of color on Yupo paper is Vanessa Lemon does oil paintings on it. And that's oils. Oil's gonna be the exception. some little pink highlights in here, give him some fun color. Also, byproduct of this, it's naturally going to start looking purple. A little worried at first because these ones aren't blending as much, but then I got over here to blend it nicely. It's not as blendable as the blue, but it is softer. And there's a possibility of if I go too colorful with this, I can try potentially knocking it back with I did this with my Dark Mythos book, where I illustrated creatures from mythology. That was my last big Kickstarter book. That was 4 years ago? 5 years ago? But that one I did Yupo paper sketches for everything. And a couple of the pieces I used liquid graphite, which is... honestly, I don't really recommend it. There was like one variety that I was like, this is workable, it's still not great. And I think I tried India ink on another one. I know I used to make my own ink out of tea. But like, I would get the tannins and everything and boil it down. But that one used to work really well with people. But anyways, I might try, like if I make this part too colorful, I might try going over it with ink. That's what I'm saying. Or maybe I do something cool and I just have a Gengar that somehow has no purple on him. Like, it might actually be fun to do this whole illustration, just these like pinks and blues. And I know his eyes are... no, he's got red eyes. Pink is fine in here. I'm thinking of the shiny eyes. Which is vastly different depending on the Pokemon Go versus, I think the anime, he's like white. Pokemon Go, he's just like, looks like he's seasick. Playing more fast and loose than I usually would, but I like it. So far I don't mind anything that fast and loose has resulted in. So if it's working, why mess with it? Wish I had done those lines in there. But if I blend that out, I'm pretty sure that's going to, or erase that out, I'm pretty sure it's going to have a very noticeable line that won't match the rest of the blend. So I will do that where I know I want the lines to be anyways. we'll see how that turns out. Not as bad as I thought. The blue's so soft that it just kind of filled in the gaps anyways. Alright, I'm actually not going to put as much pink around here. Like, I'm kind of regretting doing that little triangle there. I'm going to keep the focal point up on the eyes, so I don't want there to be as much pink around it, drawing away from them. Does that make sense? So, like, pink up here, pink down here is fine, because there's going to be a fade in. Like, I think what I'm actually going to do is leave this pretty blended out like this, with not too much intensity, and then I'll up the saturation, essentially, well, you know, up the saturation with traditional media up around his face, so he'll fade out. That's what I'm picturing right now. We'll see if I succeed. Put a little bit of it in the poisony bumps I added around his eye, but I just need a hint of it there because I'm going to largely erase those shapes in there. Alright, as much as I want to get the tone thing that I'm talking about, or not the tone, the saturation, as much as I want to work on that just to nail down the technique, I haven't added in the like full lit wick, so I'm not going to touch that quite yet. Mostly because I could do the lit wicks right now, but I need to do these hands because I want there to be some kind of effect rolling in, interconnecting these. So for now, let's finish this part a bit more, and then we'll go migrate around. I didn't end up going nearly as far off model as I was expecting to, but I do like how this is. Instead of me playing with the model, I'm playing around with the coloring style, which I don't mind. Too warm. I do not fault her for not wanting to hang out with me. Alright, so here I've been sticking to larger than pink, but the violet, remember I mentioned, also blended fairly well. Problem is I only have a very sharp point on it right now. I want to put a little bit of violet in there. I just need to get this to not be massively sharp. So I actually have a giant lead sharpener. By lead I mean like the giant chunks of just straight up graphite you can get. And that's a more dull tip. So I'm trying to shave off edges of it a little bit in there. Or you know what? I'm just gonna do this. I have an exact one right next to it. Or I could just use an X-Acto knife. I'm drawing furious lines in the corner to wear this tip down. But yes, much better. Rounded. Yes, that's nicer. I'm not going to do too much because I do want the blue and the pink to do the vast majority of the heavy lifting. But just a little bit to separate it from the foreground. And kind of use it as an excuse to do more of these lumpy swirly shapes. If you've been following my art for any amount of time, you know I love lumpy swirly shapes. Save this for mostly hard edges, where I need just a little bit more contrast. Oh yeah, Brandon, I don't know if you're still watching, but do you know where you find out when ad breaks are happening? I think I turned it down, but like I thought I was supposed to get a countdown. For 2 seconds I had a dog. She came in here, looked at me, and was like, nope, too hot. Alright, I'm kind of regretting going so heavy in on that line. I'll see if I can manage to pull that, because since I'm making him so buttery smooth now, buttery smooth. I can definitely play around with the corners of the mouth. Now I know what I need to do with an emoji. There are like 3 new emojis, but I was like, what the heck am I gonna do with my other ones? There's gonna be a butter one. Sometimes, if you want, like, that's why I keep just a napkin around here, because, depending, like, if you notice this one's a blend, this one's just blue, blend, I'll pick a different corner, depending on if I want there to be a transfer of the colors from previously, or if I want it to be clean. But yeah, the reason I was bringing up ad breaks is because I may, if I knew when they were coming up, I would call a quick bathroom break for me to go grab my upstairs pencils. I think I am also, like, I had the violet in here. Now I'm thinking I need a little bit of bright red. Mostly because you need the violet to pop your high contrast spots. I think you need the red to do the... What is the term for it? It's like tangential saturation, or I guess... I don't think that's what the term is. That's what I would describe it. It's like when a color appears more saturated sitting next to another color. So like a very specific pairing. Complementary colors? But I don't know if complementary colors doesn't necessarily mean if they pop each other's saturation. There's a term for it. I just can't think of it. This may be something where I scan in my pencil layer just to be on the safe side. And then try going over it with ink washes to increase the saturation. It's going to depend on how much pencil load I can put in here before essentially I can't layer anymore. I really wish gouache would work on this, but nope. Maybe acrylic gouache? No, I think acrylic gouache is technically water soluble. Sorry, just taking 1 second to try to figure out where it will tell me when an ad break is coming up. I don't think it is. Is it not? There's gotta be a countdown thing somewhere. Apologies, I'm just trying to time when I run upstairs for an ad break. Had to be a responsible adult and taking out the trash and getting dinner. Good on you. Okay. Okay, so it is once every hour you get 2 minutes. Alright, so you had one 20 minutes ago. I will not be able to time this well. Sorry for the dogs. Dog. There's no such thing as a safe delivery man. They're all the devil. Frogman Festival. Or Festival. Oh my god. Oh, that's, yep. Yeah, no, my dogs are thankfully not high-pitched barkers. They're just, incessant. Boofers. That's a good, yeah. Forgot there's the boofs and the yips. Alright, what is the Frogman Festival? And yeah, I don't usually draw Pokemon. This is, I've been kind of craving drawing, like I've had this idea in my head for a couple of days, drawing, you know, Gengar with Litwicks and everything, and then I was like, oh, it's Pokemon Day! A cryptid. Down on the Lulu. Thank you! Yeah, I'm having fun with this. But yes, I need to look into this Frogman. I love me a cryptid. Frogging? Okay. No, see, that just makes me think of, because there's... Did any of you watch the horror movie? I think it was called Frogging? Or no, what was it called? But frogging is the term for people that live in your house and you don't know they're there. So now I'm just picturing that there's just like some watch list with a bunch of crocheting people on it. Just because of the terms. That was back when I used to customize model horses and sculpt model horses. it was always really funny because when you were like buying, because you would buy these mass-produced ones and you'd, you know, melt them with a heat gun and chop them up, and so you'd have like legs and heads, torsos. But anyway, so we'd often, you know, the other customers would sell these parts to each other because, you know, I might only need the head of one horse and somebody else might need the rest of it. But yeah, we would just put them up for sale as like box of body parts. Yeah, it's not officially like squatting. It's frogging is like, it's the people that hide in your cabinets. So you're living there, they're living in like your attic or something. Oh yeah, model horses in general is a giant rabbit hole. Like, as much as I love and appreciate the sculpts, that hobby was insanity. Yes, they're living in your house while you don't realize they're there, like at the same time as you. There's been some famous ones in Japan where there was like a people living in like cabinets, kitchen cabinets. I know there's like videos, like someone finally put up home security because their food kept disappearing, and like just caught video of a woman crawling out of their cabinet and going to their fridge. The movie Parasite was in part because like that. Which the Korean horror movie, or not horror, thriller. Either way, if you have not seen that movie, please watch that movie. Alright, I'm sorry. I've decided he needs a little bit more junk in his trunk. Not that Gengar has any junk in his trunk, but I want some fudgy rolls in his. Same with me. That was the last movie I watched before lockdown too. So I think it was out on VHS before the time lockdown happened, because lockdown happened, or on DVD, because lockdown happened. I was in France. And I brought the DVD of Parasite. And COVID was just starting to happen or spread worldwide at that point. Because I remember being freaked out when I like got trapped in one of those rolly entrance things with a woman just coughing her lungs up. But yeah, then shortly after that lockdown happened. I should. Litwicks. No matter what, if I draw this one over here in, he's going to get blended away for the most part by my hand. I've got this thing and I'm not using it enough. guess it's fine for a bit. But also I've been ignoring him because even if I move this tray thing, you're not going to be able to see it. I do have this other Litwick over here though, so I'll probably flesh him in a little bit more. So the problem is with Litwick, I'm very tempted to just keep the actual character design because he's just cute. But I need to still match this guy's style. Oh wait, nope. I just unintentionally moved that body to be the same. I don't want the bottom to be following the same shape as this one down here. They need to be similar but legally distinct. Whatever the term is. So originally this was supposed to be behind him. I feel like he's still foreground. I'm mainly trying to figure out which one I'm doing because I need overlapping in here to sell sense of depth, which is why this toe is being covered up by this. I need to figure out if this is behind and a Litwick I probably need to shrink down, or if I'm going to move him in the foreground and this is just a very wide Gengar. I'm leaning towards back, pushing it back. So, shrink him down a little bit. Evil Dead cross-stitch. Oh, that's awesome. Is it gonna have like an open mouth? Like you're gonna be able to... I think it had... Did it just have an eye? I thought it had a mouth too. It'd just be funny if you did that and there was like a little bitty like secret coin purse kind of hidey hole. Hi. Hi. Very You just gonna stand behind me? Yeah. I'm surprised she's standing there. She's right in the light. Sorry, I'm being leaned on for pets. sweetie. Are you trying to eat my gloves? She likes it when I wear my gloves, because then she can try to groom me. Hi, sweetie. Are you needy right now? She went on a nice long walk this morning. Because it was so nice weather that Ernesto, since he works remote, gets to cheat a little bit. So he just listened in on his meeting on his phone and walked her for like an hour in the nice weather. She's gonna eat her tail. So part of me wants to make this foot bigger so that it overlaps, but that fits too well with the dynamic scaling I got going on. Technically speaking, this hand should be smaller. That might be something that, like, when I go and scan this in, and if I were to do prints of this, I'd tweak that. It's like, that's long, I drew that in, I blended it, did too heavy lines, I can't erase and attempt that again. Does Dagger have a tail? Like, I think he's got a little tiny stubby thing, doesn't he? Yeah, he's got a little stubby tail. The only problem is, as soon as I put one here, which is where I want to, everyone will think it's a penis. I really want to put there. Everyone's gonna call it a penis, though. But the fit of the flow would be like, ba-doo, ba-doo. If I put his tail right here, see? You're gonna go to penis right away. I say penis and suddenly I summon you out of lurking. I mean, the other option is I don't show it at all. There's like, I can do that, but that's... I don't know if that works either. Alright, chat, do I give him a ween? A tail, but everyone will automatically assume. I will draw other things while I wait for your wisdom. This one? Yeah, like, his tail is a very subtle part of him, and I think part of it's that they've definitely changed the length of it several times. So, yeah, I guess that would be a reason. As much as it's the same thing as I had to do with the mouth earlier. As much as I wanted to do the mouth facing the opposite way because it was Gengar, I had to nix that. And even though it would flow better to have a ween tail, Gengar doesn't have a big obvious. I'm enjoying how lumpy he's getting. I love me a good lumpy boy. Part of me's trying to think of what I want the upper part to look like, but I think, like, he's got... I need to have a general spike shape, which I think I'm just gonna make massive, but kind of incorporeal. Curses. I'm trying to get this so we can see more, and I'm failing. Right above this. I just don't know if I want to separate them more or fuse them more. What I'm looking for in it than trying to pencil line them in on top of each other. Just have to risk not being able to get the lines as heavy as I'd like. I totally forgot he's got little arms. when I just thought he was a candle with eyeballs. I mean, he is a candle with eyeballs, but he's also got little arms. I'm gonna try and time my gonna take like a quick 5-10 minute break so I can run and grab my other pencils. Not right now. I'm gonna see if I can make it till time coincide with the ad break, which I think is in 10 minutes? 13 minutes? Sorry about the dogs. Thanks for following, Silas. I think, yeah. Hi, Silas. Sorry, I saw it like pop up and then I wasn't looking at the right screen to read, so I was like, I'm pretty sure that said Silas. Welcome to the stream. I don't usually draw Gengar, but it's Pokemon Day, so why not? Thank you. I'm enjoying how he's turned out so far. A lot of experimenting, and winging it. But so far it's working out. Okay. How are you doing, Silas? Or just how's everybody doing, by the way? It's beautiful weather today, but the world's still on fire. How's everyone doing? Yep. Same. You're in Artist Alley, right? You can tell me what booth number you are. I'll actually have a booth helper for Saturday and Sunday at least. Because I'm the same floor as Artist Alley, but I'm technically a booth. I'm splitting one with Katie and Bruce. But yes, my friends are gonna help boothing on Saturday and Sunday, so I might actually be able to escape a little bit and go say hi. Yeah, I'm very curious as to how dead we're all going to be, because I know Bruce just did MagicCon. And, like, he just came back from China shortly before that because his father-in-law had a bad stroke. So he's been burning on fumes for a while, I'm pretty sure. And then I'm finishing the Kickstarter the day the 6th. On the 6th, which is I think the first day of Emerald City. So this ends, Kickstarter ends the day Emerald City starts, and then technically one of the 7th is my birthday, which I usually avoid like the plague, but I've been slowly forced into acknowledging its existence by friends. So it might be a funny booth. I'm pretty sure Katie will be the only one of us alive, but even she's got stuff going on. Like her nephew just got mauled by a dog. There's so many things going on. Yeah. Apparently he tried to, like, stop two dogs from fighting and got caught in the middle. Which is very unfortunate. But he'll be okay. Sounds like he's just got his arms chewed up a bit. Monster Hunter? Okay, so Helene definitely wants me playing it. I played World. I tried Rise. I kind of got bored with Rise right away, even though I was like, yes, dogs! I played like the mobile game a lot, but I will try. Yeah. E25. I'll have to look that up once I have a map. I mean, Monster Hunter, like I've brought this up multiple times. I like Monster Hunter stories because I want to not kill the things. I want to have them and look at them and be like, this is a nice model. But instead we're just chasing them and murdering them. And I think the hunts themselves are like, sometimes could get brutally long, and then I just kind of get bored. Yes, we'll have to sneak away. I know quite a few big artists actually, or artists that I know pretty well are going to Emerald City this year. It's a good lineup. It's a bad year for me to be broke as hell. Yeah, I wish they would do a non-cartoony version of stories. Or just keep doing stories. I like stories. But we get like 3 regular Monster Hunter games for each stories game that we get. Why do we gotta hunt? Like, even their need to hunt is debatable, because most of the time it's just like, alright, I have murdered this Jagras. Here, I will rip off just its mane, because I need that part, and then... Like, in real life, the Monster Hunter world is just riddled with rotting corpses of wasted monsters. It's like when the wonderful people would shoot bison from the trains. Oh yeah, Pokemon Snap would be fun with Monster Hunter. Maybe someone just needs to remake Pokemon Snap. That might be fun. That would be an ambitious project. Now you're getting me thinking of more games to make. Because that would be so many models. Plus figuring out real world rendering. Alright, I didn't. Okay, I made that lumpy in a way I didn't. I don't approve of this level of lumpy. It was too lumpy. It hid from the lumpy that I liked. Yeah, no, I know it's all about balance, but they lie. See, so I like the premise of stories better, because it's like, well, they don't really justify quite why you're going and robbing babies that much, but it's more like, oh, you gotta get this to this monster to be able to get into this area, so you go and catch one that has that skill. But I do like that, you know, you do these hunts and then you defeat the parents and then you go rob their eggs. I forgot there is like a capture mechanic. I thought that was just like barely ever used. But then if you do capture, does that mean you can just never level up your gear? Also, of course, this has somehow turned into a Monster Hunter discussion. Okay, though I think I go. It looks like we're about to hit 2 hours of streaming, so I believe we're about to hit an ad break. For everybody but White Knight, my one subscriber. So I'm going to run and grab another color I'm missing and cram down a granola bar and get some more water. And I will be back in 5. Okay? I don't know if I leave this, it seems like it cuts the... If I go to the be back soon, it feels like it cuts the stream. Oh well. I'll do the be back soon. Anyways, everyone, go to the bathroom. Stretch. I'll be back. 5 minutes. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you at Emerald City. I came back to a mini novel and monster hunting. Alright. I did get my other pencils. But there isn't really red in there. I do have the red Blackwing. But the red Blackwing... Oh yes, that doesn't blend for shit. It's weird that they made erasable pencils, but they don't blend. I'm trying to think of what shade this For some reason, Coal Erase made two very similar. Somehow this stream is making my office more of a mess than it has ever been. Oh no, you don't have to stop talking about Monster Hunter. Okay. Also, when I went upstairs, Ernesto totally tried to trap me. He immediately put on one piece. Let's see if I can bribe a dog. Mm-mm. Okay. Tray of pencils. So I'm still going to try and keep this as much as I can restrained to those two. The pink and the light blue. Some of these are just, like I went and pulled out my other blues out of my other pencil case. The ones that don't blend. And then the violet did blend, that's there. So yeah, I'll keep those ones separate over here. So these are just going to be the ones that I'll use to pop some color in here. And I still haven't totally decided on which shade of red is going to work. But I am hitting maximum capacity with how much this Yupo paper is going to be able to contain. Essentially meaning I won't be able to get the line weights much thicker than this is what I'm saying. Or heavier. So that's either gonna have to be something that I'll probably scan this in before I touch that, but I'll try with acrylics, or I do that digitally. That's why I scan it in, so if it doesn't work with, I might try both. And then I've got a backup if the acrylics ends up exploding on me. You never underestimate the value of a good scanner or just a photo booth setup for your art. There's like one of my most popular paintings, Mama, the like big dragon gouache and watercolor piece on wood panel with the eagle. That one I scanned in at various stages along the way, and then one day I stayed up really late trying to finish it, and I just, without thinking, finished it, got all happy, went to do the clear coat on it before I even scanned in the original. But I'd scanned it, luckily, the day before. But I put the clear coat on it without spraying a fixative down. And it was like the whole painting just kind of smeared and melted. A little bit like this butter effect, but the whole painting. I may have broken down crying at like 4 in the morning. But so the painting, the prints that I sell are actually the last digital scan that I took, which was like a day or 2 days prior. Finished up digitally. So I didn't lose the whole thing, at least. It's still in my closet. There's just a half melted. Yeah, that was definitely a learning moment. Thanks for the follow, Nildrain. Sorry if I butchered that. If I ever pronounce anybody's username wrong, please correct me in chat. Yay, thank you. It was like my initial high of, oh, this is turning out nice, is kind of wearing off, so now I'm like, don't fuck it up. Thank you. Yes, I pronounced it right. So far, I haven't been too terrible at butchering names. Yes, thank you for tuning in for... I don't usually draw fan art. But I've been kinda... Every once in a while I get an itch. An itch to do fan art. And since it was Pokemon Day, and the idea I've had in my head for a while has been Gengar. Gengar it is. If you're curious, this paper isn't technically paper. This is a synthetic... I'm gonna turn my lights on. Oh, hold on one second. That blasted that out a bit. This is Yupo paper. It's usually meant for resin pouring and alcohol inks. And I like to draw with it, animator pencils. Specifically the Coal Erase. I've been trying the new Blackwing ones. They do not work in the same capacity. Yes, it's a little bit of a finicky medium because you can't erase and redraw lines. And it's very smudgy, as you can tell. Yeah, it is a bit like oil pastel. Oil pastels. Pokemon Pocket. I have not. Is that that's not the mobile one right now where everyone's playing, is it? Where it's pretty much like the card game but mobile? I've definitely had a lot of friends talking about it, and I've been curious. I think I've largely been avoiding it, because Balatro trapped me. Hi, Springins! Thank you for the follow! Hopefully you all won't be disappointed if you come in for a future stream and you see I'm drawing weird, horrific monsters. It is addictive, or are you talking about Balatro being addictive? It's like, Balatro I know. If the Pokemon one wasn't, I'd be slightly more interested. I probably will wait till after this Kickstarter is done with and the Emerald City when I have... Well, I gotta get the Kickstarter shipped out, but like Ernesto and I are planning on going to Mexico for a little bit. So probably while I'm there, I'll pick it up. White Knight, you're awesome. Oh, Balatro is also horrifically addictive. Yes, White Knight doing what I probably should be, but I'm terrible at self-promotion. I did link the Kickstarter earlier, but it won't let me pin it for some reason. But yes, I have a creature art book Kickstarter that's ending in a few days. And then this was yesterday's, one of yesterday's projects on stream. White Knight is awesome. They do fantastic, very swear-heavy embroidery. Not always, but sometimes. I love it all. They've also been one of my longest supporters. I've been, besides backing my Kickstarters, like Patreon backer for years now. An absolute awesome human being who has a bunch of my original art. You're a groupie. I have groupies. I'm not gonna go too heavy on that tail because I might nix the tail entirely. Still not 100% decided. Well, thank you. Yeah, it was like this one stressed me out way more than my previous Kickstarters because those funded fast, and this one trucked along for a while, and I'm like, oh no. But yes, it is a giant relief to have that funded. So at least I can, you know, pay off my publishing, shipping costs and everything. Debating how much detail I want to put on the side of them. I'm kind of tempted to fade it out. Just kind of how, like, I'm trying to fade in the level of colors. I'm thinking about also doing kind of the same with that side of the body. I do like having the stream up there so I can kind of like double check my work. Because I have the stream like right above me, and so it's not only mirrored, or it's the reverse direction, so I have like a automatic canvas flip here, but I guess what I want to say, the like lower resolution makes me see where the focus is better. So like I just realized this pink was standing out too much, so I just pushed that back a little bit. Not because it looked like that to me in person, but because in the stream I see it that way. Yes, I'm very excited. After Emerald City is done, I think it ends on the 9th. I'm going to be pretty much sending out backer surveys immediately, and I really hope people are fast with getting them back to me, because I'm planning on probably sleeping for 24 hours. And then getting up and starting fulfilling rewards. Right. I'm drawing a face on this Litwick, but you can't see it, so I'm gonna kind of migrate on. I just want to get it in there, mostly so that I have in order for me to properly finish up this, I need to see how much it's vibing with the other pieces in here. So, or the other characters, which I have a couple Litwicks and the mid-evolution of the next evolution up, Lampet? But yeah, I need to get them in there so I can kind of see how they meld with him and then apply the right line weight. And I just essentially make sure they're all meshing together well. Because if you don't do that, if I were to focus 100% on him and not touch these, you'll kind of end up with like a stamp effect. Oh no, your friends won't fund? That's too bad. Hardcovers are hard, like... literally. Because my next book I want to do hardcover, and because publishing costs since my previous Kickstarter, my Dark Mythos, my Creatures of Mythology book, that funded in 2019. Anyways, publishing costs have gone up 80% since then. So hardcovers are even worse than, because that was paperback. So now trying to get people to pay what they actually cost is getting very hard. Because most people, you know, they obviously nobody wants inflation, but like they see it and they might not see the big box store books or big publisher books going up in price because they can obviously afford deals. But when you're self-publishing, it's getting bad. My long way of saying don't hate on independent writers and authors or book publishers if they have what seems like expensive books right now. Books be pricey to make. I think mine, because when you go to do your Kickstarter, it asks you how much you spent on everything, and then they give you an estimate of how much you should ask for funding. And they wanted me to charge, I want to say like $6,800. And, because they were like, well, pay yourself. And I was like, I don't know if I can get a $6,800 one to fund. So that's why I only did it for $55, which essentially just covers paying the publisher and the shipping supplies. I just realized I I make the bottom of this lampet, and then the top of this I was making the chandelier. Curses. Oh, yeah. For hardcover for your cover price? But yeah, I still don't know how much my monster manual is going to be. I asked the publisher, who never... They don't usually ship or print it in hardcover. And I asked them to see how much that would be, and they were supposed to be looking for prices for me, but they're kind of shit at communication. No. Yeah, no, I'm not paying... I didn't pay myself for any of the time spent in layout, or shipping things, or building the... or drawing any... None of that. So that's why, like, once we get funded... Well, it's like a couple $100 more to stretch goal stuff. Or not a couple hundred, but like several hundred more to that. But then after that, I can, whatever's over after that is, I get to pay myself a little bit. Oh, nice. Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. I would love to do my stuff in hardcover, because I usually love collecting hardcover if at all humanly possible. But yeah, it's hard both to find someone that will publish an art book in hardcover and just the cost effectiveness. I mean, I'm working with a publisher that I grew up working at. My mom still works there. So, like, this is me funding a Kickstarter on the employee discount budget. Yeah, and shipping... I had people that were asking about shipping to other countries, and I had turned all that off because of VATs, and trying to figure that stuff out right now is a nightmare. I may have been up until 4 in the morning trying to figure that out. But yeah, paying yourself is... It depends on the project. Like, I've had enamel pins take off on Kickstarter that I'm like, I can afford to pay myself with an enamel pin, but that's like, you know, a couple $100 really. Books are so time intensive that I'd have to pretty much try to fund it at like 10K to actually pay myself off for the time that I put into it. Oh yeah, I was wondering. I was about to turn it off, but then I was talking it over with friends, and they're like, if it's not that big of a Kickstarter, you'll probably be fine. Yeah, you can't help, like, I tried putting the PDF versions up there for international. A lot of people don't like PDFs. Either way, I guess we'll find out. I have to imagine that their whole plan with VATS wasn't to intentionally punish independent creators that own their own business, but you never know. So as much as I like Chandelure better. Chandelure is another favorite of mine. And I was thinking, since I started drawing the head to be Chandelure, I wanted that open flame. But then I remembered how many bars Chandelure has on their face. A little bit of a cut on the paper there. A little line. I don't know why. Can barely, you probably can't see it at all. But it's irritating me. So it is nice, Shy's Kickstarter definitely took off. It is good for them. I think they've had some medical scares recently, so that's awesome. Awesome news for them. Yeah, like the bars on the face, it doesn't fit my chunky vibe. Yeah, I can't remember the specifics. I just know there was a time when they were trying to GoFundMe medical expenses. Fairly recently. Yeah, honestly, that's kind of like, I've noticed that, seen like both the streams that do well and the content that does well on Blue Sky and private discords I'm in. I'm just like, I might not be horny enough to make an art career right now. Messed up my curvature here. Maybe not. I think it's just naturally gonna be a little awkward when it's turning like that. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't even really tried drawing Not Safe for Work to know, like, what genre I'd end up falling into. How is it not? Look how lumpy this boy is. Okay, see, this is the other thing. I would be all about, it would be, I'm telling you right now, it would be old ladies, lovely, super wrinkly old ladies, and big, pillowy, lumpy ladies. At least just going off of vibes of like the kind of life drawing I liked. Like I was in heaven when we had, because life, you know, you tend to, the people that are self-confident enough to do life drawing poses, they're usually attractive people. Or, you know, conventionally attractive people. So when we would actually get in like a curvy model, oh, I was on hog heaven. I was so happy. Iron Circus, oh, yeah, I need to check out more of their recent stuff. Yeah, I do have a couple of Iron Circus' stuff. I'm making Lampet a little pillowy. Not obviously to the level of Gengar, but I just want to keep that vibe going. I just... drawing bigger models is like... their body follows a natural rhythm, it seems like, to me, more. That is what I vibe with. But yes, that would inevitably be what I would probably draw. Alright, Lampet? I don't know what its thing is. It doesn't have a mouth, but I'm going to... There has like a little hole in the middle of the flame that I'm going to kind of use to be a mimic of a mouth. The squish I give them? Are we referring to the Pokemon? I'm possibly puzzled. It's so hard to draw this without smudging the blue. I should honestly just give up on that, but it's okay. It's adding to the smoky etherealness of it all. The sun went away and now it looks like we've got storm clouds rolling in. Couldn't let us just enjoy it for a little while. Alright, I know the rounder eyes are more Chandler, but I don't hate them. I like the look of them, so I think I'm going to keep them, which I'm sure will aggravate some hardcore fans, but meh. I don't think they're so separate from the, like, ovular... Is it ovular or ovular? Shape of the originals, that it's gonna be, like, disconcerting. Oh, ouch. I actually lost 2 backers. Instead of gaining backers today, I have lost 2. Oi! Oh well, that's just a fun gut punch. At least it's funded. Okay, I don't know. Sometimes I worry if people are mad because, like, I didn't go overboard with the stretch goals this time. Because I've done that with every other Kickstarter. And it makes it a lot harder to ship. And it's also just... Like, the previous Kickstarters, I spent so much money just on stretch goal stuff. And, like, since this time I raised the funding goal, but not nearly enough to compensate for inflation. So I cut back on the amount of stretch goals, like the stuff that I would give away, and I wonder if people are kind of upset about that. But yeah, that is true. There's also just been a ton of layoffs. Again. Oi! I could very much use a break from that. So I haven't actually... I have Monster Palooza coming up, but I haven't gotten my hotel yet, because I have a feeling it's going to be a really bad year for the show, and I haven't had the money to get the hotel room yet. And part of me kind of wants to bail on going, because I'm fairly certain to lose money by going. But if I bail on going, I pretty much will never get a table again. Thanks for hanging out, Lulu! It's always wonderful when you stop by. Thank you so much. Have a good day. I'm gonna need to swap this over. I got too much pigment load on this. Gotta change my corners. I want some softer blending. I'm adding like a little bit of texture work. Since he's like a, you know, a metal object, I can't really lumpify him like I did Gengar here. So instead I'm just kind of doing some serrated textures. Serrated's not the right word. Striated. That's what I'm thinking of. needs to go tell my dog that it's not hot in my office anymore, so she comes and visits me. Alright, so I'm gonna scooch this a little bit. Because I think I've got lamped here to a good spot that I can tweak this guy. I might add a ghastly in here. Whoop. So something small to kind of keep the flow moving down, going in here. It started way too big, so I gotta work my way up to it. I now know that the blue is soft enough I can pretty much blend all these lines away, so it's fine for me to work my way out till start smaller than I think it's going to be and work my way to the size that I think it's going to end up at. I wouldn't do that if I was working in black pencil or any of the other pencils, because none of them blend out as well as this one. Okay, so I think the body size is... because he's got the eyes. So once I take into account the eyes, I think that's will be about right. I'm very tempted to give Gengar ears, which he might have. I don't know what those spiky bits are. I think they're gonna have to be like... I haven't decided yet. It's one of the reasons why I'm avoiding the top of his head. Because the way I'm thinking about doing it, he might end up looking like Wolverine, and I don't want that. Alright, so I'm gonna go with a slightly sharper blue pencil. So I'm glad I went and grabbed my other pencils, because now I have different sharpnesses of the same color. I am going to have one reference of Ghastly I put up. Yeah, he's got little vampire teeth. So I want to keep the general sphere orb thing going on, but also mimic how I've got Gengar going, where he's slowly dissipating. how do I want these eyes to look? Usually I'd be worried about going this dark with the line weight, but since I know the blue is so soft, I'm not terribly concerned because I can blend it out into a haze. So I actually kind of like have an idea where he's like core is a little bit, it's not a drastic idea at all. Just that his core is smaller and he's more the ethereal cloud around him. Oh. If you just heard a crack, that was my knee. That's a normal noise for a knee to make, right? Oh, my bits. My bits are cracking. I did hear it in the replay. I heard the little pop. It was quiet, but it did get picked up a little bit. Oh, yeah, I can't afford to be laid up right now. I got too much shit to do. So I keep waking up with my back just being insanely locked up. And then maybe slightly too reliant on CBD edibles right now to make it so that my muscles actually relax. Getting to the point where I don't want to touch him much anymore because I feel like this really foggy look is actually really cool with him. I think I might blend it in one more time, go back over the line weights, and then erase his eyes. And I feel like that's going to give me the look I'm like the final look of this section at least. worried about when we started streaming and it cut off so much of the screen, but we managed to get a decent cross-section showing here. Softly trying to bring that back, the mouth outline back in, and give a little bit more detail to the core orb. And I'm doing it, I'm double checking both what I've got here in person and what I see on stream, because like I mentioned before, the stream with the lower resolution and everything tends to show me where the contrast is a little bit better. So it's nice for double checking my work. Alright, I was tempted to push the mouth out the other side a little bit, but I think as soon as it breaks the silhouette of the circle, it stops reading as clearly. See if I can blend that back away. Come back in here with the eraser for a little bit. Add a halo effect. So I've done a lot of the buttery smooth stuff. And I do need to add some texture work in here. So I'm actually going to see if I can find... I'm very surprised I don't already have it out here. I need to find my indigo blue. my dog Raya loved me enough to hang out with me. Narrator. She does not, in fact, love me. Indigo blue! Alright, I have no idea how much this one smudges. Let's test it. Not nearly as much. Alright, so I'm using this for adding in less smudgeable texture detailing over the buttery smooth. Which might be a little hard to read on screen. I wonder if Raya's avoiding my office today because of how I had to lock her in here yesterday. She hung out with me last night, but she must acknowledge me putting on my headset is streaming time. Alright, handy dandy Q-tip. Now, the thing is, I have no idea what to do for the background on this. I'm almost tempted to do that whole cutout thing like I did with the experiment yesterday. And put it on watercolor. But I feel like that's going to be too disjointed. Probably going to be more blending in these soft blues. And just making sure while I'm blending them in that I'm moving things. Like essentially, it looks like I'm nuking all the detail, which I am, but I will go pull a lot of that back in as best as I can. I get the general vibes of the flow I'm going for by the direction that I'm moving the paper towel. Try to get my smudge lines to follow. This is the nice part about this blue is that it's so soft that all of my random stretchy lines that I've grown to love in my black pencil sketches are completely blended out pretty much. It's just, it's one of the reasons why I like this material. As much of a pain in the ass as it is it's always kind of throwing curveballs at me. It's like a different pencil reacts completely different, even though it's like same technical type of pencil, like it's just black coal erase and blue coal erase. But they behave so much differently that it's almost like using a totally different medium. It's like I keep on not wanting to, or wanting to be very careful with my shading lines here. But I don't think I really need to be. But I will still, out of an abundance of caution, stay safe with my blending, shading lines. Guess I didn't really think about area effect lights. I don't know if I want the darkness to go all the way right up next to the lit wick cave or candle flame. It's not, you know, it's a candle. I also need to make sure I'm not spending too much time detailing Litwick back here, because they're not the focal point. I'm also doing this because I want to get the background in there so I know, at least tone-wise, like general tone, so I know what level of saturation I'm going in on Gengar. Realized I think it might be this acrylic stand that actually caused me to have that weird edge down there that was bothering me. You don't usually try to set it on the painting, but since I, or on the drawing, but since I made this, this is a big sheet for my roll, so this is a bit wider than usual, and I had to tape it down to keep it flat. So now I'm unintentionally using this arm stand and resting my weight on the paper. much washed out did that get? That got pretty bad, didn't it? Not as bad as I thought, but it's not great. It's darker in my office than the camera's showing, so I was going to turn the light up a bit more, but I know what I'll do. Well, that blurred it out even more, didn't it? And that's the same. Well, not the same, but same level of detail that you could see. Finally detailing this side of the face a little bit. But it is at a very weird angle, and this is the only spot I can put the bar. I know I haven't touched it. Yeah, sorry, frog in my throat. I haven't touched the other colors in a bit. I think that's just because I want to make sure I get enough of a undertone of blue. We'll probably end up calling it fairly soon because we've been going for 3.5 hours. And I need a stretch break. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna download the demo of that game I was talking about before that my old friend Mike Monroe made that just came out. The Dead Letter like Dead Letter Institution, something like that. Dead Letter something. Yeah, I was about to say it's about dinner time too. But yeah, I think we'll call it here. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Of course, Raya comes for the very end of the stream. But tomorrow gaming Saturday, I might pick this back up again. We'll see. Yes, the letter data entry game. We'll see. I like how it's going. Right now I'm a little worried I'm going to start messing it up, so I think that's a good time to pause and walk away. So, before I do something I can't fix. I'm surprised you don't know Mike, because he's local and was DigiPen. So, anyways, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll stream Mike's game. Saturday I'll try to stream again. Do more of this. If not, Monday. And scan it. Yes, that too. Hopefully I can untape it and it stops curling up. But yes. Last note. Kickstarter. Link below. 6 days left. I'd like to stop losing backers. That'd be nice. If you know anyone that loves creatures, send them my way. Or send them to that. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good weekend. Yet, it's, you know, have a good night. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You all been wonderful to hang out with.